Woo! Second Chance Shoe Society review. I probably don't want these that close to my face because I ran in these this morning. Oops, a poopsies. Welcome everyone. Here I am, Juliana, your favorite and probably only local shoe eating monster. Welcome back. Today I have a Second Chance Shoe Society member, which just means that I bought this shoe secondhand and I am going to give it a second life here at the Shoe Eating Monster Slaughterhouse, where we take slightly used shoes to their actual true death, you know? So the shoe that I purchased used recently, I've purchased a fair amount of shoes recently that are used, but the one that I'm holding in my hand is the Altra Torin Plush 4. Yes, that's a lot of words. And this is a shoe that's about 4 models back. The Torin 8 just came out. They don't have a Torin 8 Plush right now, but we're going to kind of talk about that briefly in a second. We'll do a little bit of a comparison so that way you guys can get a gauge as to how this compares to the current model that's out right now. This shoe is from Altra, which is known for having zero drop shoes. Not all of their shoes are zero drop right now. When this shoe came out, they all were, but this shoe specifically is a zero drop shoe. So that just means that your toes and your heels sit at the same spot when you're standing or running in this shoe. So for people who actually use the back of the shoe, that means something for me. I literally run on my toes and it means nothing to me. So I don't feel the drop in these shoes at all. I don't feel the drop in any of the shoes unless it's so high that it becomes obstructive because the heel is like sitting so much more like kind of like a high heel almost. That I can't do. But what does mean something to me as your wide-footed friend is the wide toe box that these shoes have. So Altra, along with being a zero drop for the most part shoe company, also is known for their like foot-shaped shoes. These shoes have a nice wide toe box and it's meant so your toes can kind of like splay out and that way you can get just like a natural feel of your feet on the ground more or less and just let them kind of create like a nice wide base and really press off with your toes when you are running. So for me, that's been really awesome. I really have relished in these wide toe box shoes recently, starting with the New Balance Rebel V4, and then I've moved into the Lone Peak from Altra, which we did a review on already for my trail running, which I actually might take for my 30-mile ultra. Like I'm kind of like really highly considering it because I love it that much. And now we are foraying into some of the road shoes from Altra. And so here we go. The Torin 4 Plush. This is a shoe that comes in at 28 millimeters of stack height, which back when this shoe came out, and this was only like 4-ish years ago, this shoe was kind of like a high cushion shoe. It was one of the higher cushion shoes that's out there. And right now, it's kind of not. Right now, a lot of like the high cushion shoes, like you have the Super Blast from Asics, you have the Glycerin Max from Brooks. Those shoes are kind of borderlining almost 40 millimeters in stack height. This bad boy right here comes in at about 28. So it's mid cushion now. It definitely feels high cushion, which is great, that you're kind of more going for the feeling than you are at the actual stack height. So I will say it definitely is a nicely cushioned, high cushion shoe for sure. But compared to the shoes of the current age of today, this is kind of like a mid-cushion shoe, more or less, and almost a daily trainer, which is what it's meant to be anyway. So definitely it's doing its job. So standout parts from this shoe. I really loved the cushioning in this. I feel like it's really comfortable. I feel like it lives up to its name being plush. I also did some research too as to why this shoe was called the Plush, because there's a Torin 4 and the Torin 4 Plush. And the main differences between those that make any kind of difference is that this has like 2 millimeters more of stack height, which honestly really isn't much of anything. The top is much thicker. And I will say, like, I can still feel like my sweat from this morning on these shoes, because when my feet get warm, they get warm. And that's just kind of the end of it. It is warmer out today here in Massachusetts than it has been in a while, but it's not like hot yet or anything. So I imagine during the summer, these could get pretty overheated. The mesh on the top is like double layered and it's kind of thick, and it is that like kind of plush comfort that you get from a lot of shoes where it feels more like a blanket around your foot than just a small casing to keep your foot protected. Those are kind of the main differences between the Torin 4 and the Torin 4 Plush. But let's talk about the durability of this shoe. because I ran in these for 8 miles this morning and I fell in love with these already. And I filmed another review earlier that you're probably going to see first. And I was like, I have to talk about the Torin 4 Plush because I am living my best hippie life out here, my best earthy, crunchy granola Juliana life out here. Thank you so much. I will be moving into my 0 drop wide toe box shoes. Thank you so much. My experience in the shoe today was very positive, but let's look at the bottom of these shoes. And they were a little bit worn down, not really much at all, nothing significant, and definitely in the spots that I wear shoes down, which are the edges, they really weren't worn down at all. Let's look at the edge of my bad foot, so the foot that definitely eats through shoes the quickest. And as you can see, there's definitely a little bit of shredding happening there. Nothing like too crazy bananas, but after one run, it's really kind of, that's not the best. And some of this other shredding through here also wasn't there when I left this morning. So I can tell that this plastic kind of capping almost, the rubbery part of the bottom of the shoe, definitely like isn't bad. The grip wasn't terrible. I wouldn't say this is a trail shoe in any capacity, but it did fine on slightly wet sidewalks and roads today. So we'll give that a nice thumbs up right there. But I would say that the actual durability is not super great. I was saying earlier that I think it's probably like a 4 or 5 out of 10 when it comes to durability for the foam itself specifically, because I can see that I'm definitely already starting to wear through the sides there. And like I said, there wasn't really any wear at all on these when I went for a run, and this is only 8 miles in. But that being said, the shoe itself, I really, really enjoyed. So I am going to keep running in these. I think I paid like $20 for them or something. That's kind of been the average for my used shoe experiences. I'll get some that are a little bit cheaper, some that are like slightly more expensive, but it seems to be averaging out to about $20 a pop when it comes to like these used shoes, which I'm not mad about. If I can get like 100 miles out of a shoe for $20, I feel like that's definitely worth it, especially if I get to try out new shoes and get to bring you guys some information on these shoes too. We'll just say, do I recommend this or not? I would say if you like a high to mid cushion shoe and you're looking for that nice wide toe box and you like the 0 drop experience, or you're like me and you run on your toes and it really doesn't matter, this is a fabulous shoe. It actually is like decently light too. I think it's like 8.6 ounces or something like that for the shoe itself. So it's not a super heavy shoe. And I found the foam nice and bouncy. I had a nice time in it, I would say durability wise, probably not the most durable. I would be interested to try out the Torin 8, because the Torin 8 actually, compared to this shoe, is about 2 ounces heavier and actually about 2 millimeters higher in stack height, which is interesting because this is the Plush, and the Torin 4, like we mentioned, actually is lower in stack height. So they've kind of foregone the whole Plush thing, it seems like, and just made one Torin that is a little bit higher in stack and a little bit higher in cush. I would be interested to try out the Torin 8. Right now, that is retailing at about $140, so I don't think I'm going to be buying that anytime soon unless I can find a pair of Torin 8s on sale or used. So I'll keep my eyes peeled for those because I definitely really enjoyed this shoe tomorrow. It's going to be hard not to break this bad boy out tomorrow morning. But hey, I have other shoes I'm going to wear, and we'll try out some more shoes. Definitely, durability wise, not really the best as far as I can tell on a first run impression. But overall, I really liked it. So even though it's not the most durable shoe, like I said, if you're looking for a 0 drop shoe with a fair amount of cushion and a nice wide toe box, and to have a nice fun time, just go run some like easy miles in, there you go. The Torin 4 Plush from Altra. Bada bang, bada boom. Here we go. Woo, yeah. Well, thank you guys all for watching today. Really appreciate it. You guys are the best. And anyone who is watching or listening, please go ahead, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know. What do you think of the Altra shoes? Let me know if you have a favorite, like, everyday trainer that you think I should try out. Let me know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, any emotions, thoughts, quandaries, queries, let me know. Put them down below in the comments section. Love to read your comments and respond to them. Don't forget that you can subscribe to the channel here on YouTube, and also subscribe to the podcast on any podcast platform of choice of yours. Yay. And I will see you guys next time on the next episode of Shoe Eating Monster. Thank you for listening to this episode of Runnah. This podcast is edited, hosted, and produced by me, Juliana Coughlin. Brought to you in part by the Falmouth Running Club and the Falmouth Community TV station. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on Instagram and on TikTok at RunnahPod, and you can send us an email at runnahpod@gmail.com. And our original theme music was brought to you by the one and the only wonderful Jeffrey Hutton. And keep up the great work. I'm proud of you.